What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Draymond Green Show with my dog, BD.
What's up, my bro?
Chilling, bro. Before we get into this episode, please subscribe to the Draymond Green Show with Baron Davis so you don't miss any episodes.
That's right. Follow the show on all social media platforms, Draymond Show, so you don't miss none of our great announcements.
And as we get into today's episode, I told y'all therapy works. And, you know, I've been through a lot in my life, a lot in my career. And to bring this guy on with some of the wrong he's done in my life is a big step for me in my journey. But today's guest, he's an 11-year NBA veteran, two-time NBA champion as a player. He is an NBA champion as a coach, which we do not want to talk about here. He's one of the best coaches in the league, for sure, bar none. I got a lot of respect for. Quite honestly, one of the coaches I hate playing against, and we'll get into that a little bit. We have our little banters. I talk junk to him, but none other. Coach of the Los Angeles Clippers, T. Lue. What's happening?
Lou.
Nothing.
My guy, what's happening? What's up, Coach? What's up, Coach? Look at my dog. My dog is the coach. You know what I mean? We came in the league together. You got all them gray hairs.
21 years old, and I'm coaching now. That's 26 years later, I'm coaching. Like, I would never thought I'd be coaching, man, but it's been a blessing. You know, the game of basketball, like I said, has been a blessing for all of us. And then just to, you know, turn the chapter from being a player to being a coach, man, it's really put me in a great position. Like I said, basketball is everything, you know.
Man.
So, you know, I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't play ball, like I said, or if I wasn't coaching. So it's everything.
Man, just to speak about coaching, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you one of the best coaches in the league. Man, you're an NBA champion, and I would like to kick the show off by talking about, let's get into this Cavs Warriors situation. And is this the first time y'all ever talked about this?
Yeah.
Come on. Sorry, Drake. Come on. You know that was coming.
Listen, that
was the fastball.
The amount of times I see T. Lue, like I see T. Lue at private events. We're part of the same family. And we've never spoke about this. And the fact that we starting this podcast and that's what you want to talk about.
Man, I'm on one today, bro.
Y'all could have took Draymond Green out of the show today. This just could have been the Baron Davis show today. If that's what you wanted to start this show off talking about it. But since you want to talk about it, let's talk about it then. I got something to say too.
Let's talk about it. T. Lue, were you worried the first two games, especially the last time y'all saw the Warriors in the finals? They won the last 3 games. And then, Draymond, you can talk about, you know, in the finals, how y'all felt the first 2 games. But, you know, Coach, walk us through this series. You know, what was the mentality? And feel free, Coach, you say whatever you want. You know what I mean? On this show.
I mean, you know, well, for me, it was like, you know, you go through the Eastern Conference, you know, and you know, it's a different style of basketball. Until you actually play the Golden State Warriors and see the speed and the pace that they play with, you can't duplicate it. You know, we had a lot of time to prepare, but you can't prepare for the speed, you can't prepare for the shot making and how hard they run their stuff. You know, and so when we got to Golden State for those first 2 games, man, we couldn't keep we were just they were just playing so fast. And what happens is a lot of people get, you know, they go crazy about the threes that Clay and Steph, whatever's gonna make, but you lose sight of shit. They got 60 points in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you running to Steph, them, you trying to do, and now you got Drake, you know, one of the best passers in the league. As soon as you go out to help Steph, they slip, they getting dunks, they getting layups, and so you kind of lose sight of everything else because you're so worried about Clay and Steph, you know, coming off screens. And so those first 2 games, it was hard to make adjustments because shit, it was a blowout. It's getting beat by 25, 24. So, how do you really adjust? But, you know, I think the adjustment we made was really good for us because, you know, when you play them, you think about we want to switch everything. You know, we want to, and they just pick you apart.
Yeah.
Any mistake, they're going to pick you apart. So, you know, look at the film over and over and over again. When game 3 came, I said, you know what? We're only gonna switch Steph and Clay's when they come together in splits.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, we're gonna just drop back. You chase and follow, and then we'll protect you. Like if Barbosa pops back, if Iguodala pops back, if Sean Livingston pops back, we'll live with the results. But you can't like switch everybody. They were just too good.
It's too much chaos. Yeah.
And you got J.R. Smith chasing Steph full speed, and now you got to stop and kept trying to go back.
Yeah.
It was too much. And so, like, listen, if Steph and Clay come together, switch. If not, you're on your own. You got Steph and you got Clay, and that really helped us out, a lot. And so, what people don't understand is like after the first 2 games, I didn't show film, like because sometimes Bron will be upset and he'd be in the back rolling his eyes. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna stay positive. I'm gonna stay positive. Everything we do, we shot half court shots. We just did a lot of different stuff. And then when we won game 3, then that was a game I kind of showed all our mistakes, what we need to clean up, what we need to get better at, because when you win a game, it's easier to kind of show that stuff. So they came back and won game 4. I didn't show no film. And so David Griffin was like, man, what the hell is Tyronn Lue doing? I'm like, bro, you don't understand. Like, you just relax. Like, I got it, And so, but it was, I mean, playing them every single night, man, like, it's just tough. Like the pace they play at, people don't understand until you're actually in it.
Yeah, and then, speaking up, well, Dre, I'll let you talk in a minute, but speaking up on game 4, one of the biggest turning points of the series, and then you find out Draymond wasn't going to play game 5. Like, what was the adjustments like, going from game 4 to game 5? Because once y'all tied it up, I like watching the series because I felt like every game after game 3, it was like somebody went back and made key adjustments to make the game that much stickier, right?
Yeah, I mean, so, they win game 4, and I thought we played, good enough to win. But they win game 4, and then we got to go back to Golden State, for game 5. And then we get the news that, Draymond was going to be out. So for us, that was something for us, like to automatically pick our pressure up. Like, now we got to pick our pressure up. We got to deny, we got to extend, because they didn't have like Iguodala could make plays like in transition, but Dre was more of the half court pass, So he's basically the point guard. And so when he was out, we knew we had to pick our pressure up to try to take him out of everything they try to do, And so it's a funny story when we get to game 7, and I think you probably don't remember Draymond, but if you go back and watch the game, so at the end of the game, we were up 3, and we went over like y'all's need 3 plays. We went over every single day for 3 weeks straight, but one of the games were close. So we did. So Kyrie and Bron, like, man, we doing this shit again. I'm like, man, you never know. It's going to come down to something. And so for each play, we had different guys guarding different positions. And so when they came out to run a need 3 play, Dre was taking it out, and we jumped into our formation, and Dre was kind of looking like, what's going on? So we deflected the ball out of bounds. So then they go to their second need 3 play. They switched it, and our players was guarding somebody different, and we was able to take it away. And then so Bron said, man, it came down to games. So I said, you never know. Like, you got to work on it every single day because you never know when you're going to need it. And so every day we work on the need 3s. They're like, man, ain't none of the games been close. Why are we doing this? And then game 7, it came down to it. Big for us.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. What up, BD?
Welcome to the party. Come on, Dre.
I appreciate you.
Speak your piece.
I don't have much to say. We lost. But what I will say is, it's crazy because in playing in those series, like, it prepared us in moving forward to know how to make those adjustments, because it was a chess match. Like, every time we would play from game to game, they make this move, we make this move. They move their queen, we move our rook. We move our that's what those series were. Obviously, when I got suspended for game 5, it changed everything. But also, their adjustment, it's interesting because their adjustment to pick up the pressure is obviously how they took over and won the game. Because when you get in a lot of series and a key piece like that gets moved, normally your game plan stay the same, right? Because you like, we've been playing this team, your game plan stay the same. And then you come out there and you get blasted. Like, it happened to us a couple years ago when we won a championship. We played Memphis in game 4, game 5 or something like that, and Ja was hurt. Oh, it was game 5. They beat us by 60. because we didn't like there was no adjustment. Like you didn't know what team you was about to play. Whereas opposed to you've been preparing for this one team and you know the adjustments that you need to make. It's a different team now. And so that's an interesting adjustment. But no, when game 5, it changed everything. Like we're going home and obviously they're going to make an adjustment. But, you know, for us, we going home to close out this series. And that's the mindset. Then I get suspended and I'll never forget, I was watching that game next door at the A's game, and I had on all black. I had on some black Nike combat boots, and I had my route down and everything. I'm like, yeah, we're going to win this game, and I'm taking the long route to the court so I can walk past all of the Cavs when they walk into the locker room with their head down, and I'm in all black, and I'm mobbing in there. And it just didn't work out for us, man. I was sitting in that suite watching the game, and I didn't recognize the team I was watching. Like it just looked like a different team to me. And so then to come back game 6, like we lost game 6 and game 5. Like there was 0% chance we were going to Cleveland and win game 6. So we had already lost game 6 and game 5. And then we end up in game 7. And T. Lue game plan is to make me beat them. And I had the game of my life. And ultimately.
He had 5 threes in the first half.
Man, I was there. I was at that game. I was at that game.
But you know, like something about coaching, you know, Day is like when you got the control of your team and they respect you and they trust you, like, you know, you have 5 threes at halftime and then not one player come in crying about like that's the game plan. Like, you know, like he can make shots, but if we keep Steph and Clay from, you know, making 7, 8 threes and we keeping the ball out of their hands, like that's what we want to do. And you got to think for the best team in NBA history, record wise, like we held y'all to 89 points in game 7.
89 points.
Just, you know what I'm saying? So like, and we just stuck with it. Like, and like I said, J.R. Smith was huge in that third quarter coming out. Then, but like, it just, and you had the best game of your life, you know, but.
You know what's crazy though, T. Lue? Is that game, and it was a mixture of that game and then also KD coming. And so the mixture of that game and me like shooting the lights out, scoring at will, having, I scored 31 or 33 or something like that.
35.
35, and we only had 89 points, and I have 35. And so me being the player that I am, which is 70% cerebral, KD coming in, which means I have to kind of take more of a backseat anyway, right? Like, but at the same time, that's coming on the heels of me just having 35 and we lost. And so now my mindset ends up turning to, well, they want me to take this shot because I just had 35 in game 7 and we lost. So then I stopped shooting, right? Like, because I'm like, oh, they want me to take the shot. In turn, I then spent 2.5 years with zero confidence in my shot and just DHOing and find creative ways to get Steph and Clay involved because I didn't want to shoot because I lost all confidence. But a part of me losing confidence was that game and not taking the shot and taking the shots, right? Like, and actually making them. But we ain't win. So I'm like, that's the mindset. They want me to shoot. So I'm not going to shoot because they're game planning to make me shoot. So why would I shoot? And then it led down to this whole path of like, then being like afraid to shoot, like, and losing my confidence in my shot and like hesitating and then having to get over that mental hurdle. It all started for me there, which was crazy because it was your game plan. But then it became a part of my mind of like, that's the game plan. Why would I shoot?
But now you're back to shooting 40-some% from 3 again.
And turning to T. Lue, telling him, don't let me shoot tonight, goddamn.
Man, this is therapeutic. This is therapeutic, man. That's a hell of a moment. A full circle moment. That's hella therapeutic, man. I'm glad, T. Lue. See, we got that. The hardest part, we got out the way. Now we can go on.
Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year for getting in on all the basketball, football, hockey action at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's the season of giving, so we're being gifted college football and basketball, pro football, basketball, pro hockey to almost 24/7. It's an absolutely great time of the year. So a lot of games every day, so many opportunities to place your first bet. Now, if you're going to bet for the first time, just make it simple. Pick a team to win, any team. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook. They have an app. Download it in 90 seconds. Here's the gift for all new customers. Bet $5, just $5. If your bet wins, you get $150 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The code is Colin, C-O-L-I-N. New customers, $150 in bonus bets if you bet $5 and it wins. Happy holidays from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
So I have to ask this question. And speaking of that Game 7, I've heard all of the stories, and quite honestly, I've ignored them because that's just a dark moment in my life. But there was some story about you collecting money that you left in the ceiling, or something let me in on this story. I need to know more, because next time we play y'all in a meaningful series, I'm going in that locker room the night before and taking that money.
Oh man! So after we won Game 5, all the owners and the GM, everybody's in the locker room, they celebrating, whatever, everybody's happy. So I go in the locker room and said, "Everybody, give me $200." They're like, "What? For what?" I was like, "I'm gonna take it, wrap it up, I'm gonna put it in the ceiling, and we come back and get our money for Game 7." And so where I got that from was from Doc Rivers. We played the Lakers in 2009. We played the Lakers during the regular season. It might have been Christmas, and they blew us out.
Mhm.
Like, they killed us. And so Doc went around the room and collected money from everybody, put the money in the ceiling, said, "We coming back for the NBA Finals, and we coming back to get our money." And we came back and we played in the finals. They beat us that year, but we came back and played in the finals, and the money was still up there too, in the ceiling. And so I got that from Doc, and so we came back Game 7. I'm gonna tell you what's crazier than that. You know how cheap LeBron is. So,
Oh man, golly.
PD, we win a championship. Game 7. I go up in the ceiling. The money's still, it's like $4,700 or something like that, right? So shit, I pocket it. You know what I'm saying? And so Bron, they throwing champagne, they whatever. So Bron said, "Hey, T. Lue, where's that money at, man?" I said, "Man, I went up there, it's missing. I don't know where it's at." We just won a championship, and he's worried about getting $200.
The
Crazy,
great
Crazy.
LeBron.
That is hilarious, because that is exactly how he is to every
That's
penny.
crazy. He frugal, huh?
No, he's generous too. I'm just saying, but like,
He want his money back. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like,
He earned that. He need his cut. I'd have pocketed too.
In the middle of popping champagne, you just won a championship, and you asked where the 200's at. Come on, man.
That man don't forget nothing.
But I was just about to say, but interestingly enough, it's less about him being frugal and more about, like, dude don't miss anything. Like, he don't miss nothing.
Nothing, man. And like I said, him and Kyrie, like I said, they were special. That final, they were special. Like I said, in Game 5, both of those guys having 40, and just like I said, and once we got to Game 7, like Bron said, "Give me the Game 7, and I'll do the rest." And so, but bad man.
Yeah. Speaking of Game 7, I mean, everybody talk about the block, and then obviously Kyrie's shot. But is there another play that you feel people miss that helped secure that title?
Kevin Love, when he switched out on Steph.
Ooh, he sat down.
Hey, dude, he sat down. That's one of the ultimate sit downs in NBA history, dude.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Because it's crazy, because it wasn't supposed to happen. So, I don't want K-Love on Steph.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
And something happened, a breakdown where he ended up on Steph. And I mean, K-Love, I give him credit, man. He sat down. He sat down. He guarded 4 or 5 different moves. Forced Steph into a tough shot. But that was a big play. I think we might have been up 3 or maybe 4. I'm not, maybe 3.
3.
Yeah, 3.
Yep.
Yeah, big stop. And I think that's when Bron got the rebound and got fouled, and then we went to the free throw line. Oh, no. Got the stop. Kyrie went coast to coast, threw it to Bron, and you fouled him. And then he went to the line and made it. Yeah, but that was K-Love, man, moving them puppies,
Yeah,
man.
he was. It's crazy
Yeah.
because we seen like, oh, this is it. Like we up, y'all
Yeah,
up 3.
like-
Steph about to tie it. This is it. Like we got
Yeah.
K-Love on the
Right.
ISO. It's over. And he was
Man.
moving. I think it surprised
I
Steph.
thought he was gonna lay it up. Yeah, I thought he was gonna
I
lay it
think it might
up.
have surprised.
Yep.
It probably surprised Steph too, for sure. Because, like, I mean, he was there. He boom. I was like, damn, okay, K-Love. But I was nervous. I was nervous as hell. Like I didn't. I'm
Man,
like,
that was
man, how did he get on Steph?
that was a moment, dude. I thought Steph was gonna drive because he had got a layup. I feel like the play before on the drive, and it was enough time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that switch was like, okay, Steph getting to the step back, and shout out to the Bruin great Kevin Love. You know, we
There you
Bruins,
go.
we sit down, bro. We
Stop
sit
it. Y'all
down.
don't know.
We sit
Y'all got a
down.
couple people
We
from
sit down.
UCLA that sit down. You, Russ, and Drew.
Keep going, Norm.
Norm
Powell.
don't sit down no more.
Nah.
He
Norm
don't,
don't
wait, hey, hold on.
Norm don't sit down
let
no
that
more.
thing go.
Hold on.
Shit, Norm-
Hey, Norm was just on the show talking about defense.
No. Just keep talking about offense. Norm. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on, Norm. What happened? He all offense now, T. Lou.
All offense.
And Matt Barnes. That's it. That's all y'all got to say. Oh, Loon.
Lou. Come on, Peyton Watson. Zach LaVine.
But Zach LaVine, man, if you don't, Zach don't play no defense. Also, how many in that whole group you just named? How many all defensive teams in that group?
Oh man, we always get
Oh, all right, bet. So we're gonna move on then, T. Lou.
Yeah, we're gonna move on.
We're gonna move on. We just not gonna speak of UCLA like they defense you. Like, come
Big
on.
10, baby. We gonna see when that matchup happens.
Y'all don't want to play us. Yeah, it's nice weather where y'all go to school.
Okay.
Y'all don't want to play us. Don't do that. It's crazy because T. Lou was just saying they decided to switch Clay and Steph stuff. And the way they were guarding us, it was then like, man, and even a little bit before that, like we struggled a bit with OKC, but then we ended up coming back and winning that series. And then it obviously reared its ugly head against the Cavs in a great year. But teams were starting to figure out how to guard us. And so, you know, at that point, we got to figure out what's next. We go sign KD. What's your reaction to that, T. Lou, when you see that?
It's over. Like it's like, you know, I'm saying you game plan. Like, I mean, like you said, we thought we figured y'all out. You know what I'm saying? And instead, we went back the next year. It could have went either way again. But like, we thought we had the blueprint on how to guard and how to attack. You know, how to attack y'all offensively because y'all was always top 5 in defense. You know what I mean? A big shout out to Ron Adams. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
But when y'all got KD, it just made it. I mean, come on, you blitz Steph. And now you got Clay and KD on the weak side.
Yeah.
You know, you short rolling. You got Eagle Dollar for the lob, and you got Clay and KD in the corners. Like it just became.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, it just became too hard. Like it was too hard to really, like I said, match up offensively. And y'all was always a great defensive team. So once y'all got KD, I mean, it was like, I mean,
yeah, and he can get his own money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like he can get his own money too. That's what made it so unfair.
Yeah, so what you do, BD? You blitz KD, and now you got Steph and Clay.
Yeah.
Come on,
like,
y'all. What
like,
are you doing?
But it was just too much. It was.
Now it was interesting because that's what ended up happening. Then teams was like, "Oh, we're going to switch here. We're going to switch," and so we would run our stuff. It's literally how our offense would go. We would run our stuff, and either KD getting spot up shots off because teams blitzing me, and now I'm kicking to them or getting a lob to Dre.
Yeah, you put a short roll.
Yeah. Or the team starts switching it, and then we just get a ball to K. And K go 1-on-1. If you double, we hitting Steph. All right,
Everybody
so then they
open.
start doubling off me. And then that's where we start doing the handbacks. You throw it to me, I'm catching, I'm handing off, I'm catching, I'm faking, I'm going to the cup. I got Andre on the lob now. That's where that came from. But it all started with us getting K. And then like, all right, y'all switch, good luck.
Right. It was too much.
Playing on the Lakers, winning a championship with those 2 Laker teams. Playing against Golden State, losing in the finals, beating them in the finals. Where does those Laker teams stack up against the Cleveland Cavaliers championship team, the Golden State Warriors championship team with KD? You probably the best person to give some insight because you played on the Lakers and won a championship with them.
Man, I just don't see nobody like beating the Lakers team. Like I said, when they got KD, I got to go back and reassess. It just I'm just saying the biggest factor like is Shaq.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, Shaq was just, I mean, no, I'm saying you can't stop him. Like, you can't guard him. You know what I mean? And you had, God rest in peace, one of my guys, Mutombo, like I said, defensive player of the year. Shaq averaged 36, whatever, and 14 that series or something. But like, I mean, it just wasn't no answer for Shaq. Like, okay, say, you double team Kobe or Kobe had a rough night, whatever. There's no answer for Shaq. And you can foul him. But now you got 3 centers playing the game. So now your 3rd and 4th string center are playing against Shaq because everybody else got fouled out or in foul trouble. And now you're in the bonus with, 6 minutes to go in every quarter. Like, I just don't see an answer for Shaq. And that's what people don't talk about and understand is his dominance was unmatched.
I agree. And then you get that backup center, the 3rd string center. They ain't shot blockers. They not, you know what I mean? They may be a little different, so it just kind of softened up the defense. But I always say it's I pull favoritism to our era, just because of you got Shaq. Shaq was just a dominant player. Kobe was super dominant, but then all of the other players on the team were high skilled, cerebral basketball players that could play basketball, that love to play basketball, that can make adjustments on their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to, a lot of the modern day basketball is more so adjustments from a coaching standpoint. The coaches have to make the adjustments because I think the players are young, right? And so there's a gap of veterans to young guys, and there's a learning curve that feels like that's why y'all got so many damn coaches over there on the sidelines to try and help. Is that the case?
I mean, it's a lot of player development going on, and so I do think, like I said, these player development groups that you put together, you see on every team, I think it's very important because you got guys coming in 19, 20, 21, and don't really know how to play the game, So like our guy, we got Sean Fine, he's amazing. Like, he's him and, Dante Jones and, Jeremy Castle, Cookie, Bo, Connor, all the guys, they put in work every day, like Chris Hogan. And you see it paying off, like, just with our young guy, Kai Jones, like he's got better and better and better, like, so it's important. So I think when you're drafting these young guys, you got to have guys that is willing to be in the gym, do the, the hard grinding work every single day, and then, mold and get these players to where they want to be. And so I think it is very important.
I just want to say something about
I don't even want to talk about the
this
championship.
Lakers this Lakers thing.
He couldn't wait to get
I gotta say something about that. I mean, I just gotta say something about that. I find it interesting because it's a very interesting one. I'll tell you why it's very interesting. Because quite honestly, Shaquille O'Neal is my favorite player of all time. So it's a little challenging for me to be like, yeah, somebody gonna stop Shaq, because it's very hypocritical to my childhood beliefs and like what I like how I actually feel. So it's very hypocritical of me to say that. And quite honestly, I don't think any of us could have stopped Shaq. Just like no one else in Shaq's era could stop Shaq. I just don't think that was happening. But I do think we then posed some challenges on the other side for Shaq that you just can't stand in the paint against us, big fella. Like, and I am the biggest Shaq fan you're gonna find, but you can't just stand in the paint against us. Like, we're gonna exploit that. And so, what y'all gonna do defensively? And then also depends on the time that we playing, because when y'all were playing, that couldn't play zone in the NBA then. Obviously now you can play some zone, but you couldn't play zone then. You know what I'm saying? So that also changes it to where we can really get at Shaq. But in saying that, no, I think I don't really have much of an argument, just on the sake of it being Shaq. So I'm gonna let y'all have that.
Okay.
Just on the sake of it being the big diesel. Because you're right, though. Ain't nobody stopping Shaq. And it actually pisses me off, man, when people don't try to give Shaq the credit that he deserves. Like, and like, don't talk about Shaq in the light that Shaq is. Like, It's the most dominant
Crazy.
player we've ever seen.
Not ever.
Hey, here he is right here, BD. Hey,
Look.
hey,
What's that?
say that.
Oh, D. Jones.
What's up, y'all?
Oh, no. Hey,
What's up, y'all?
hey, hey,
What you doing with that
well,
ball?
hey, that is one of the biggest hacks in summer basketball history. Hey, T. Lue, remember how mad we used to get at Dante dude for playing and following people in the gym? Hey, Draymond,
All the time,
you
man. We
seen nothing like this, bro. You seen nothing like this. You
I
shoot,
appreciate you.
he stays. See, there you go.
I appreciate you. That made my heart warm. Like if you ain't all defenders are hacks. That man on the other side of the camera's a hack. Draymond, one of the biggest hacks of all time.
That's crazy. I don't even foul that much. The referees just don't like
Thank
it.
you. God bless you, King.
He in here working out Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn out here.
Okay.
Another hack.
Another hack.
He said
Chris
another
definitely a hack.
Teach him your ways, Dante. Teach him your ways.
He's definitely a hack.
I'm sorry. What happened? What was going on?
Nah, so yeah, I'll give y'all that. Although I don't think y'all team was as good as ours, but in a matchup, nobody's stopping Shaq. But I'll tell you what, you got to come out that paint, big fella, and you might just be looking crazy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, talent wise, but like when you got the two best players in the world on the same team, like I said, it just is. I'm saying, like, okay, only team I saw even do a halfway decent job on Shaq, like I said, was San Antonio. Like, the front and back with David Robinson and Tim Duncan, but still, he still averaged 27, 28. You know what I'm saying? But like, it just him and Cole, man, together. Like that,
And Shaq could move. Move. He wasn't no stiff.
He wasn't a stiff, but he wasn't a stiff, but he wasn't moving like Shaq had been moving.
What years?
Shaq started getting them later years in LA. He wasn't moving like that no more, man. Shaq started getting heavy. Shaq started rehabbing on company time.
No.
Shaq wasn't moving like that
That's
no
what
more.
he do.
That's what he do. You think about the 3 stops after that when he went to Miami, Cleveland.
Well, of course he was. He was completely done moving in Miami.
Miami year 1 he was straight. Year 2 is when
we gotta stop. I gotta stop. This is gonna come off like I'm hating on Shaq, and that'll break my heart. So we gotta stop.
No, you're not. I'm saying, like, you got the Phoenix, Cleveland, and Boston. You know what I'm saying? With the Lakers, he was still.
Of course, he was still dominant. But again, coming to move them puppies on the wing with KD and Steph and putting them in pin downs with Clay. He wasn't moving like that. He's not doing
none of that.
He wasn't moving like that. That's all I'm saying.
You gotta have guys that's gonna get through the screens for sure.
Yeah, Kobe will chase over a screen. Let's see. T. Lue getting nailed by the screen.
No, I'm getting
T. Lue getting over the screen, man.
That's why Shaq loved playing because he had to come out in the drop. He had to worry about. I'm getting through the screen, so he had to worry about and all that.
I used to hate playing against that dude.
Get Tyronn Lue in the game because he ain't got to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But you know what was crazy though? Back in those days, and we were talking about the other day, me and B Shaw. It was an automatic because back in those days you had a 4 and a 5 on each block.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when the ball hit the wing, whether it was a pick and roll or not, you was automatically in the ice stance.
Yes.
Because it's gonna be a big on the block. And that's what made it easier to guard back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You can have a 4 on the block, a 5 on the weak side block, cross screen. But when the ball hit the wing, you automatically jump in the no middle stance and sit it down, whether it's a pick and roll or not.
Yep.
And so that was crazy. That was real crazy. But it was easy, but it made your life a lot easier for sure.
All
right, switching beats to the Clippers. You talked about Norman Powell and how he stepped up this season to become pretty much a go-to player on this team. Talk a little bit about Norm and, who does Norm game remind you of in your playing days? Okay.
First, let's start with Norm, like, just to see the work he puts in every single day, BD and Dre, he works too much for me. Like I said, to me, he works hard and he's wanted to be a starter. Having PG and having Kawhi, it was hard for him to start. But this man works every single day since I've been here. Like just seeing the amount of work he puts in, And his slogan is UTG, understand the grind. And he grinds every day, like working on everything. And so for him to get this opportunity and to play the way he has, like I'm just happy for him because he puts in like real work,
Right.
And so I'm just happy to see him like have the year he's having. People starting to recognize what he can do, as a starter. So that's really good. As a player, more like a microwave, but I didn't get a chance to play against microwave, but I see a lot of them. Just that build, he's still more Norm. I tease him because I say he's 6 foot, but he's 6'3". If you straighten his legs up, he might be 6'7". Yeah. But I would say you're saying microwave, can score at all levels, man. Just instant offense, and he did it last year for us off the bench. Averaging 16 points off the bench, led the league in fourth quarter threes percentage wise last year. He can just come in. He's an instant scorer. So I would say more so like microwave if I had to say anybody.
Y'all got James playing at and when I say y'all, I mean obviously coaching, but he's doing it. But James playing at an all-star level this year, back looking like the James that we all have grown to know. Going through them battles with them Houston teams, like that's the James that he's looking like now. What's it been like? James once said, I am the system. You know what I'm saying? I am a system. And seeing him play this year, it's like you as a coach and y'all staff has put him in all his pet sets that he like to run and have twisted some things to, sets that you've incorporated, but putting him in those situations that he liked to get to, that he's thrived in and became James Harden as we know it. What's that adjustment been like? What was those conversations like to go to him and be like, all right, listen, obviously PG gone, Kawhi out, and taking a team that most people seeing like, dang, PG left, Kawhi out, this team gonna be bad, and got this team rolling and he playing at that level. Just what was the kind of the build up to that and just the adjustments that you've had to make and getting him back in that role?
Yeah, well, the good thing for us is he's been accustomed to playing that way, so we got him last year. He more so just tried to adapt. And, he was a playmaker and, ran our, with Kawhi and PG, like you said. He didn't come in. I think James averaged like 8 or 9 shots a game last year. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he just kind of got everybody involved, pick and choose his spots. But this year, it was a different conversation. Like you said, with Kawhi being out, with PG being gone, we need him to turn back the clock. Mm-hmm. in the same position he was in to carry that burden, offensively. And, our front office has done a good job of acquiring Derrick Jones Jr., who's a defender, Chris Dunn, who's a defender, and you put those guys around James where he doesn't have to, guard every single night. And now he can just focus and lock in on scoring the basketball and making guys better. And he's flourished, like I said, and he's used and accustomed to this role. But it started in training camp. It was a hard training. It was a throwback training camp, mess up on the line, 6 or 10, but no, every day. And I give him credit, he did it every single day, whether he liked it or not. And that's what's kind of got us to this point. But just every day practicing, playing every game, or he missed one game, the whole year, playing every night, all the training camp stuff, and then taking this young team, like I said, and just putting them on his shoulders and just showing them how to work, showing them how to win, showing them how to do things the right way. And like I said, he's been great for us, like I said, all year long.
No, I think it's dope to just see him back at that level. And where I give you credit and him, it's like, I didn't even know he still had that level in him. You know what I'm saying? To even get back to this level, it's special. It's special to watch. But one question I also want to ask you is, in coaching Bron and in coaching James, I always say, obviously the way they went about it, 2 completely different ways. But talk about how both of them can control the entire pace of a game, and having a guy like that every time down the court is capable of getting you a good shot. Because I don't think people understand in this league, there's not, your favorite player can't just do that. There's only a select few of guys that can make that happen in this league. And obviously, now having James playing at the level of doing that, and then having Bron, just what are the similarities in them controlling the games, and then what are the differences?
And that's one thing, like you said, is why I think he should be an all-star this year, of just things he's done so far, just making guys better. But like you said, to generate a good shot every time down, whether you make it or not, it's a make miss league, but he generates a good shot every single time for himself or for his teammates. And just look at all the people when you talk about him and Bron, like how many people they got paid
Yes.
throughout the course. You know what I'm saying? That's where it
Clint
starts.
Capella should still
like,
be washing James cars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of people, you know what I mean? The same with Bron. Like, they made people better. They gotten guys paid. They gotten coaches paid. Like, Bron got me paid. But, like, just to control a game and knowing that you're going to get a good shot every time down the floor, like, you just don't find it everywhere, And so people don't respect that part of the game where you got a guy that can generate a good shot every single time.
When the last time Mozgov came and watched you in Bron cars?
I seen Big Miles South Beverly Grill 2 weeks ago. Big Miles.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh.
Man, you're one of the best coaches in this league. We've said it before on this show. We say it all the time as far as in-game adjustments. Just talk a little bit about, your philosophy around in-game adjustments. And then when did you notice, like, hey, bro, I'm kind of nice at this coaching thing? When did that hit?
Man, well, it started back, like I said, Doc and Danny Ainge, gave me my first opportunity. And it started when I played for Doc in 2003 in Orlando. And he told me, he said, listen, T. Lue, when you're done playing, you can come coach. I was like, man, I ain't coaching. You crazy? Like, hey, coaching wasn't in me, But when I finished in 2009, like, that's all I knew. And so I give a lot of credit to Doc because, like, when we lost a tough game or a hard game, how I used to go back and sit in the back of the room when he did media and just listen to how he handled himself and how he handled the media. Just all the ATOs at the timeouts. Like Doc was, the best, in my opinion, back in Boston, just running ATOs. And I was able to learn from Thibodeau, in Boston. Then I learned from Lawrence Frank, And so I had a lot of guys that I could learn from. You're taking like, Doc back then was the best coach in the league, So you learn from Doc. You learn from Thibodeau, was the best defensive coordinator in the league. You learn from Lawrence, and so I had a lot of guys that I learned from, and so I give them a lot of respect, for me being where I'm at today. But it's hard, it's hard, BD. It's a hard job, as a player, you just kind of basically worry about yourself. As a coach, you got to worry about everybody, the assistants, the medical, the equipment managers, the players. And so when you lose a game, you got to go back and look yourself and be like, man, what could I have done different? What could I have done better?
Right.
And, like it was a tough grind, but I learned a lot along the way to be in this position and putting a lot of hard work to be in this position. There's a lot of great coaches out there. And so just to be mentioned, in the same breath with a lot of these guys, it means a lot, especially being a young coach.
You said something that I actually wanted to address anyway. You just said it. You said LeBron get a lot of guys paid. He got me paid. And I want to ask you about that because coming in, obviously, you take over a team, you go on to win a championship. And a lot of people knew you were great in what you brought in that situation that even the coach that, you were assistant under couldn't bring. And everybody just knew like there was a specific thing that was going to be needed. Nobody felt that he had it. No disrespect to him, but everybody felt you had it. And saying that, you come in, you take over a team, obviously Bron's playing, and Bron is always going to get much deserved credit that he gets.
Yeah.
But you said Bron get a lot of guys paid. He got me paid. A lot of people tried to say that initially, like, oh man, he was coaching Bron. Of course he gonna come in and win a championship, as if that's just a given. You then started to be known as, and rightfully so, as one of the best coaches in the league, period. How was it for you to kind of break that tag of, yo, he's LeBron's coach? Because, everybody always try to make it a stigma of like, oh, he's LeBron's this, he's LeBron's that. He coached Bron, so that's why he won a championship. So much so that even then the Los Angeles Lakers want to give you a contract that aligns with LeBron's contract. How was it for you to break that stigma of Bron and knowing how great you were, or how great you are, but how great you were as a coach?
I mean, the outside noise really didn't bother me because I don't have social media and I don't really get into all that. Everybody has their opinions. But he really helped me. But the biggest thing for me is I sat down with him, Kyrie, and K-Love, and I told him this is what I need from you guys. Like, if y'all want to win, if we want to win, this is what I need. And I give those three guys a lot of credit. But when people say that, Bron's been in the league, 21 years? He had 4 championships. So, I mean, they act like he won 21 championships. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? He's won 4 championships. And so, he hasn't won every year. And sometimes it takes, a special person or a special situation to get to that point. But like I said, Bron deserves all the credit. But what fulfilled me was when he came to me and said that, I was a great coach and, one of the best coaches he's ever played for. And so that enough right there meant a lot to me. And so I think, once, he went to the Lakers, then I had a chance, I go to the Clippers, I think, and coach that team. We go to the conference finals when Kawhi gets hurt, and I think that's when I finally got my respect. Once my first year with the Clippers, we go to the conference finals and I was able to get out from under LeBron's umbrella, but it shouldn't be like that. Like you said, and I know that he's brought a lot to me, as a coach, made me better because he's so high on execution, doing things the right way. And you got a guy who's the best player in the world that had never been late. Like he's the first one, shoot around, practice, leave. And then, a lot of times you even have guys who of his stature come to the bus 10 minutes late, they're playing 20 minutes. Man's never late. Never.
Yeah.
Like respect everybody's time, respect everybody, what they're doing. And like I said, without him, I wouldn't be who I am today because he made you better. Because when I come in and present, a scout report of how we want to do something, I know that he's not going to miss a beat. And I know I got to be sharp in what I'm doing every single day, every single night, because he doesn't miss a beat, and so he's made me better for sure. So I'm always going to give him the credit because he's made me better at who I am. And so hopefully one day he can say, you know what, T. Lue was one of the guys that got me over the top when I got back to Cleveland, and so, I give, like I said, all the credit to him. Like I said, Kyrie, K-Love, be able to sacrifice, because you got to think, K-Love came from Minnesota where he was the man.
Getting 20 and 20, 30 and 20.
20s,
Yeah.
30s and 20s.
Ask K-Love, like, hey man, could, be in a third option, but I'm gonna feature you when you're on the floor, out of timeouts, different situations. And for him to buy in like that and to win a championship, like it just says a lot about them and who they are too. But I give, like I said, all the credit to Bron, but for making me a better coach, every step of the way.
No, I think that's dope, and I respect it because, again, to have the influence, to have the impact that Bron has, obviously, it's a great platform. But then you have to be capable of living it on that platform. Like you can't, because if you're not capable, you get swallowed up fast. And anything that he's involved in, and it was like the same thing with Rich. I think the same thing with Mav, where all the guys that has grown with him in a certain aspect, it's like, oh, they're only this because of him. But it's like, nah, A, there were some people along the way that weren't able to take advantage of that opportunity, right? B, they don't get to the situation without being special anyway, and when Rich first started Clutch, it's like, he's LeBron's agent. Like, he's only, and it's like, no, I've actually built the best sports agency in the business. And to see you kind of break that same stigma in your own way.
Same thing, yeah. Like Rich, like you said, what he's built, what Mav has built, what I've continued to go on and build, but it's all, like I said, it stems from LeBron. But just because I give you $1 million and tell you to invest it, that don't mean you're gonna make the right investments. You know what I mean? Like I could be broke in 2 years, or I can have 10 million in 2 years. So like, what you do with it, and that's what I say about LeBron, because when they fired Coach Black, they could have went with anybody, and Bron had the confidence in me, to say, you know what, no, I like T. Lue, and so
that's
that says
big,
a lot.
yo. That's big.
That says a lot.
That's huge.
For a coach, 38 years old to, step in there and, fill some big shoes. Because like I said, Coach Black went to the NBA Finals the year before.
Yep.
And when I took over halfway through the season, we were the #1 team in the East. That was a lot that came with it too. So But like I said, for those guys that had a belief in me to do it, you know, it says a lot. So I'm happy about that.
1000%. And just speaking of guys that you've done it with, your relationship with Steve Ballmer, how has it been, you know, and working with him, you know, just the type of owner that he is, the resources that he's bringing to the team and building that incredible arena. You know, and obviously the only other owner that you've coached under as a head coach is obviously Dan Gilbert, but just what is it that Steve has brought as an owner of that team and it being a joy to coach, you know, and having an ownership group like that?
You know, what he's brought is family. Like, you know, when you get a chairman that, you know, that really cares about your well-being, your family's well-being, the team, everybody who works in this organization, when you get somebody who really actually cares, it's genuine. You can tell when somebody's bullshit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like when you can see when it's genuine, you know, like when COVID first hit and we were in a bubble, you know, and Black Lives Matter, and you know, we started that slogan and trying to, you know, help our communities and help our culture. He stepped in, and everybody on the team, and even Doc Rivers, the head coach, he donated to $1 million to everybody's charity or community center, or everybody to, you know, to put it to wherever you want to put it to. You know, he told us when he first took over, I'm gonna build a new arena for us. Like, you know, he could have invited another team, like the Lakers, to come play here so he can generate money, but it wasn't about that. It was about us, you know. And so, like, this man, crazy story, which Ryan West gets something I tell it all the time, but it's for me, it's huge because during the season a couple of years ago, he said, you know, what are you passionate about? I said, I'm passionate about my family, and I'm passionate about where I'm from, which is Mexico, Missouri. He said, I said, I want to do something special there, but I really don't know what to do. Like, you come from a small town, 11,000 people, not a lot of money in the community. So he was like, I'm going to go take a trip with you one time and I'm going to take a look at it. I was like, all right, yeah, right, whatever. So the summer hits, he called me and said, hey, when we going to go to Mexico? And I was like, what you mean? He's like, we're going to take a trip to Mexico. I'll give you 3 days, pick one. So I gave him a day. Long story short, we fly private on this plane. We fly into Jefferson City, Missouri, go down to Mexico, Missouri. You know, we walk around, tour the city, just, you know, brainstorming. And the next year, I mean, and the man sleeps in the best Western hotel in Mexico. wakes up the next day, they say, it's the best sleep I had in a long time.
Wow.
The seventh richest man in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how genuine he is. And then so we started a program, my C2C program, which is Cradle to Career, Commitment to Community. And he donated $3.5 million the first year, which it was a 5-year plan to raise $10 million. In the first year and a half, we raised 18 million. But like, he put me in contact with PRI. He donated $3.5 million. Like, and so he's just been putting me on the right path to do a lot of things. And like I said, we've changed Mexico so much right now, but we still got a lot more to do.
Wow.
But just like I said, his vision, and like I said, every single day before the game, comes in for 10 minutes, checks on me, how you doing? You know, just so positive. And he's like that with everybody. Like, it's genuine, you can feel it. And so that's like, I mean, he's one of the best people I've met in my life, man. He's unbelievable. He's incredible.
That's incredible, man.
Shout out to Ballmer, man.
Absolutely. That's fire.
BD, you had a lot of interactions with Mr. Ballmer.
Yeah, he when he started the Baller Vision, Clipper Vision.
Yeah,
he's been great. I mean, you know, one, passionate about the game, love talking about the game. I say even for, you know, Clipper alumni, you know, we got kind of like this starting to build a once a Clipper, always a Clipper kind of fraternity, which is cool, and bringing a lot of guys back. So, you know, I respect him for what he do in LA in the community, with the courts, with the foundation, with the investments, like somebody who really came in here, not just as a owner who owns a team that's just all about the team and all about trying to get resources to the team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's been
Right,
about the
yeah.
entire city, bro. Like every park, every inner city, like the amount of people that shout his name on the foundation side and the way he's helped, you know, mobilize this community is like, you know, that was like my dream. But I ain't got no Steve Ballmer money, you know what I'm saying? But it's just good to see, like, and it's good to see the Clippers like care about the inner city and care about LA. And then that's why you're starting to see the Clipper fan base, grow in LA for real.
No, that's fire.
And then T. Lue, since you've been in LA, you heard a lot about Kawhi and his health. This past year, the critics have been super loud. My question is, how excited are you that he will return? And just kidding. I mean, I thought you was going to give me a date.
I thought you froze, bro. I thought you froze. You know, like you froze for a second. I'm like, what you about to say?
I was like, how excited are you? He will return.
Yeah, I'm very excited, man. And just, the big thing, MBD, like I said, you was one of the baddest point guards in the league. When I talk about guys like hard for me to guard, it was always you, Gilbert Arenas, AI, you know what I'm saying? And people don't get a chance to, to see your full career because, like I said, you got injured.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you wasn't putting in the work. That doesn't mean you didn't want to play. That doesn't mean you wanted to be on the floor.
Totally.
And so, like, you have bad players that, like, you know what I'm saying, like, are elite players, are perennial all-stars, are superstars. And just because, like Anthony Hardaway, like, Penny Hardaway, like, he doesn't want to get hurt. Like, you don't want to be hurt.
Right.
So, like, it's just hard for the criticism to come his way. When I know I see him every day, grinding every day in the weight room, grinding on the court every single day. And it's just unfortunate that, he can't control what he has going on. Like, he just can't control it. If he could, he would. Like,
totally.
So it's hard to see all the criticism that he gets, because he's hurt, because he's not playing. Because if you got a guy that's hurt and they're not putting the work in to get better and get
back.
That's
the difference. Yeah.
That's totally different. This man is grinding every single day.
Yep.
Every single day, all summer, every summer to get to where we want to get to. And it's just unfortunate. Like I said, it's times when he just can't control it, And so that's just the part that's hurtful because he's not a guy that's going to lay down. He's not a guy that doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? He does care. And that's what people don't understand, from the outside. And it's just tough, man.
And you see former players that been through this. Spewing like, man, don't get me started.
Well, they not real.
No, don't get
they
me
not
started,
real. Because you gotta really go through injuries. I mean, T. Lue, you remember when I was hurt playing in Vegas and trying to get back. Like, man, you trying to get back, and then next thing you know, you may overcompensate a little bit. You may lift 1 or 2 reps and some tear. You know what I mean? And so you never right. Like, once you get hurt, you are never right because you're never 100% of what you were before you got hurt. Dre, and you talked about that with your injury earlier in the year, right? And it's just like, man, you got to work to almost get to 85%.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
And you'll never get to 100%.
Nope.
You got to work to get to 85 and hope you don't get to 75. Right, because your tired meter, your wear and tear, and all that. So, I think a lot of times fans don't understand that the mental part of it, the hard work part of it. But like, if somebody's not on the court, it's definitely not the result of them not working.
Yeah, just think about the organization, as a whole. Like, you think they would continue to give him $50 million if he wasn't in there working, trying to get back? Like, if he was a lazy, lazy dude, they wouldn't like, okay, all right, cool. You hurt, you done, we done. You know what I'm saying? But like, this man dedicated every single day, man, to try to be on the floor. Yeah. And like I said, it's painful to watch because, like I said, he wants it so bad, man. And like, and he's doing everything. And so I'm happy he's getting close, man. And for me, like, I've been hurt a lot too. I had 3 knee surgeries, microfracture. And sometimes just it's the mental part. Like, can I do it? You know what I mean? Can I get over this hurdle? Can I do it? Can I get back to being who I was? And people don't understand that man, it's a grind, but he's been grinding. Like I said, I'm happy for him.
Fun Guy is one of my favorites, man. I heard him rapping before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had Fun Guy in the studio. He was rapping.
Oh, man.
He may be mad. He may get mad at me, but I have Fun Guy in the studio. He got bars. He got bars. He be spitting.
People don't know. Yeah, people don't know he's a funny dude, man.
Yeah,
he's a funny.
I was gonna ask you last 2 Kawhi questions because I'm a Fun Guy fan. I need a Kawhi-ism for sure. And then the second question is, Describe the similarities and the differences between coaching a Kawhi and coaching a LeBron.
Well, Kawhi-ism, a funny one. So me and my boy Boogie Cousins, you know, that's my. And so I was mad at him one day, and you know he kept going back and forth. I said, "Man, Boogie keeps doing this." I was mad at Boogie, right? And so Kawhi came up to me and said, "Man, he can play. He's good. He's good though." I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "He's getting on my nerves, whatever, whatever." He said, "I said, man, I'm just tired of looking at him, whatever." He said, "Just don't look at him." like how am I coaching player and don't look at him? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Leave him
I'm
on
like,
the
yeah,
court. Don't look at him.
yeah, we know Boogie's the man, you know, like, because you know he's one of most talented centers that's been around this game. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so we had got into it one day, but that's my guy. But Kawhi's like, just don't look at him.
Hey, you figure it out, but he good right here. You figure out what you got to do.
Yeah. And the comparison between like him and Bron, like I said, the hard work, like you said, is lined up just like this. Like both putting in, like you said, the work, you know, every single day, like grind every single day to get better. And just think about, you know, where they come in their career. Like Kawhi, when he first got in the league, he wasn't a shooter, you know, and he expanded. He was a corner shooter. Then he became better at the wings, you know what I'm saying? Then every year he's gotten better and better. Now he's a 40%, you know, 3-point shooter. You know, he was able to take steps of being a post player, getting better and getting better. Same with Bron. Came in the league, he wasn't a shooter. Now he doesn't shoot 40% for three, put the work in. And so they remind me a lot of each other, like I said, when it comes to that work ethic and, you know, putting that work in to get to where they want to get to.
Kawhi is funny.
Yeah, he's funny. I mean, Bron's funny, but Kawhi's funny because he don't do a lot of talking, but when he talks, it's funny. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes it crazy, man. He be saying some crazy. I love it, man. For sure.
Our coaching staff this year, we added Jerry Stackhouse to take over our defense. One thing that I found that he does is he get these grades out. It's funny because he had something on the grade today. I had a conversation with him. I'm like, Stack, man, like you graded me on this based on how you grade somebody else, but I intentionally did this. Like I'm covering 2 right here, and he like, yeah, but you supposed to do this. I said, Stack, but you ain't gonna tell Steph Curry to drive to the rim because someone else drives better. He gonna shoot the 3. So we had this whole conversation, and we went at it for 15 minutes. It was great, me and him, just me and him. It was incredible. Y'all have brought JVG in, and you know I've heard a lot about just kind of his approach and you know what he's brought to the staff, and defense looking incredible. Is there something that he's brought that you would say has been different than maybe y'all were doing, or a different approach than what you had before, just bringing his coaching style, which is more of an old school coaching style than kind of the coaching style of what coaches do today?
Well, one, he brought us a purpose defensively. You know, a lot of people just go out there and play defense. And like I said, I always hate playing against you because you always read, you know what's coming with ATL. You take him over there. I got this. And now y'all switch, you blow the whole play up, like, and have that IQ. But he's brought us a purpose defensively. And if you look at our team, like if you start James and Norman Powell, like, I give Norman a hard time, but they're not really defenders. And so if you can be a top 5 defensive team in this league, you know, starting those 2 guys, we're small, we're little, we're scrappy. But he's brought us a purpose, and what he has done, Day-Day, is that, you know, most teams, they don't want to leave the corner. You know what I mean? Or, you know, you guard a great shooter. But our thing is, if you're close, go get it. And like, for most times, you know, you drive the ball, you know, a guy in the corner, you're going to stunt and get back. Like, no, if you close to us, we're going to get it. And you don't see people in the corners, you know what I mean? Or if you go to the basket, you spin, the next guy's right there. And we'll figure out the rotation on the backside. But like, he's made us more aggressive. Like, if you close to the ball, no matter who you guard or who it is, if you close, go get it. And like, you see, generating so many turnovers. But he's brought a purpose. He's brought a mindset to our team. You know, I come in early, you know, every day, and I come in 5 o'clock in the morning, he's already here. You know, and he's passionate about what he does every day. Like, he takes it hard. Like, we win by, 37 last night? Utah scored 107 points. He's pissed off. Like, he's mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, come in, I talked to him earlier. We just didn't finish the game the right way. You know what I mean? We got third string in. You know what I mean? So, but he's passionate about what he does. He brings that mentality, like no nonsense. Like when he's on the floor and we going through defense, it ain't no messing around. You know what I mean? Like, he's locked in, and so it's been really good for us. And shout out to Stackhouse too, because he's done a good job. And I played with Stack in Washington when we played with Jordan together. You know, so I love Stack. You know,
that was a 51 game, Dre. Hey, I was guarding him. T. Lue, was I not guarding you? T. Lue, was
none of that.
I didn't want none of
that. Hey, they put a lead name line. They put a lead name line. You know, Stacey Augman. You know what I'm saying? And then you know what's crazy about that Day? I looked it up the other day when he had 51 points or whatever. So I looked it up. Man, I played 18 minutes. I didn't score.
Hey, bro, you gotta watch the tape. Because me and you are talking.
Yeah.
Like, you got to watch the game because we just having a conversation like, oh, I'm not going to help. And you like, well, I ain't getting the ball. I'm like, well, shit, I wish we had some popcorn to watch this.
Why he was mad that game, right? The reason why he was mad that game is because the game before we played New Jersey Nets and they put Kenyon Martin on him. And, like, he struggled to score. You know, and at this point, MJ's 39 years old. They was like, all you got to do is put length and athleticism on him. He can't score, bigger 6'8", 6 guys. He can't score on those guys, whatever. So the next night we played Charlotte, and they, put Lee name lines, a couple guys on it.
Lee don't play defense. Lee don't play defense.
Y'all had David Wesley. He got David Wesley.
Torched.
Lee Naylon, PJ Brown, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he was on one. He was mad because he didn't play good against Jersey.
You had an opportunity this summer to coach the Olympics. As a part of the staff with Steve. And I'll be honest, I was one of the main guys saying, I don't understand how in the hell Jason Tatum's not getting any minutes. I didn't understand it. Obviously, y'all go on to win. But in looking back at that situation, was there something that could have been done differently to where Jason Tatum, because now he got this vengeance against us, and I'm not sure he got that same vengeance against y'all, T. Lue, but now he got this vengeance against us that we don't really need.
Right. That's my little cousin. You know
really?
What I'm saying? So he's from St. Louis. So his dad is my first cousin.
Wow.
Yeah, he kind of my functions in Mexico when he was younger. So that's my cousin. So I feel bad for him, but we talked every single day. But the biggest thing for me, like, I ain't gonna go against coach's decision. If I'm a coach, I'm gonna stand in, whatever the head coach's decision they make. You will never hear me say I disagree. Not to a player, not to anybody, because that's not my response. Like, my job is to be all in, and so, but I will say, I like the way JT handled himself. He was professional. He didn't try to go home. And like I said, as a guy who's been first team All NBA 3 years in a row, coming off winning the championship, won a gold medal back in, 21. Like I said, it was tough for him, and so I just try to talk to him. I just try to be positive with him, keep in the right headspace. And like I said, I'm just glad he got through it. I'm glad he got a gold medal, like I said. And he was able to play, like I said, that last game in the gold medal game. But I'll never be one of those guys, whether it's family or not. If I'm in the trenches and that's what it is. And so, but I am proud, like I said, Lil Jay, how he handled himself and how he conducted himself throughout the hard time and the adversity of what he had to go through.
No, I think that's dope. Do you ultimately? I don't think Steve's going to do it forever. Do you hope to ultimately one day take that over and be the head coach of the USA team? Is it something you want to do again?
Yeah, I mean, I would like that opportunity because, as a player, you grew up with wanting to be on an Olympic team. Of course, I wasn't good enough, you know what I mean? But, that was your dream, winning the NBA championship, being, Olympian, being able to represent your country. But now having to do it in this capacity has been great, So to be able to one day be the head coach if that was possible, and be able to be a young black man to, win a gold medal for your country. I think it says a lot about our youth, about,
The evolution.
kids looking up to us, and being that, young black coach, winning a gold medal for your country and representing your country. There's no better feeling than that.
If I'm still playing in 2028,
me and Draymond coming to coach.
You coaching because you can't move no more. If I'm still playing,
hey,
I'm in
T-Lou, next year I'm getting invited to Golden State Warriors training camp. What do you think my chances are of making the team if I'm in shape?
Well, don't guard Steph.
I'm not messing with Steph.
Yeah. How do you now love it? You got to be 42 now?
Yeah,
43?
I'm like 38, 42.
It's over. It's a wrap.
I don't know.
I'm like 37, 43,
Hey, I don't know, love. I ain't speaking on that. I never kill nobody's dreams,
I'm telling Draymond, hey, you think I'm playing? Watch me make that fucking team next year. Back to business. You watch Steph Curry go off in the final minutes of the Olympic championship game against France. One, how did it feel getting a gold medal in that fashion? And like, talk about the experience now, coaching Steph in the Olympics.
To finally be on this team, I feel like Bron. Like, you know what I'm saying? We went against him so many times and came up short, but it was really good. The thing that I like the most, take me out of it, is that just KD, Steph, and Bron. Like, three guys. And it's like saying our generation, like, to be able to play together on that level, to represent your country, to win a gold medal together. I think that was one of the coolest moments I've seen, just seeing those three guys come together. So that was great. And then my time, like I said, I've always dreamed of being, in the Olympics, represent my country and to win a gold medal, like I said, alongside of Steve. How Bron felt about Steph, I felt about Steve, battling every year, battling, you know what I'm saying? And Steve's a great coach, and being there with Spo, and then having Mark Few from Gonzaga, who was on the staff as well. Man, it was just great to just, learn so much, to see so much, pick each other's brains. It was an amazing experience, man. So I'm just happy that, like, that Steve, extended the invitation, as well as Grant Hill, and it was beautiful.
Now we're going to talk a little bit about your playing career. You grew up in a small town, went to Nebraska, which we talked about, Mexico. Shout out Mexico, 11,000 people. Where you wore the number, were you the 23rd pick in the 1998 draft? You had the red, what was that, the Navigator on the 22s?
Yeah.
Gold.
Yeah.
You had gold rims too, huh?
No, I didn't.
You had no gold rims?
Oh,
You had
no.
You had a Midwest bumpkin?
No.
Hey, relax yourself, man. Relax yourself. You ain't got to go there.
You know, Midwest, they ride golds, man. I thought he had
That's
a gold
true.
rim.
That's true, but you.
Yeah, but no, I didn't have gold. I didn't have golds. I had the silver joints. I give shout out to Mark and Darnell, 310 Motoring.
That's right, 310 Motor. Remember that?
Yeah.
We was kicking that. That was going up. But 98, you got drafted. Who was your favorite player growing up? And then looking back on your journey, like, talk about like what was like your happiest moment?
My idol, Jordan was everybody's idol.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I couldn't be like Jordan. I couldn't be. He's 6'6". I couldn't be that. But Michael Jordan was definitely everybody's idol. But someone that I loved and try to pattern my game after, it was three guys. Actually, it was Kevin Johnson. I love KJ. I love Terrell Brandon, and I love Kenny Anderson. Like, those were my three guys that I looked up to and like idolized and wanted to, pattern my game after. That's why I love the mid-range so much, because of KJ and Terrell Brandon, two of the best at doing it, especially when I was coming up, watching the game. And so what was your second question, BD? Oh, my favorite moment was it's gotta be when I got drafted and was able to buy my mom her first car.
Yeah.
We never had a car growing up our whole life. And to get drafted and buy my mom that Cadillac Escalade,
Sheesh.
her first car.
Big baller.
You ride through Mexico with a Cadillac Escalade, you know what I'm saying? You big baller. But that was one of my happiest moments, get my mom, the car, house, my grandma's house. And like for me, it's always been about just taking care of others, taking care of my family.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to do it. That's what made me so hungry. And so, you think back, like I said, 20 years old, 21 years old, Red Navigator, you was at UCLA,
You already
having
know.
a little bubble.
I had the Blue Expedition. Remember that?
Yeah. And so she's like, man, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful driving that, around here or whatever. I was like, what you mean? Man, you driving a Red Navigator? I'm like, man, I'm from the Midwest. So I ain't know.
Hey, Dre, he all in Inglewood. He just going places. I'm like, bro, you can't just be driving this Red Navigator on 20s with the thump coming out of it. Oh man, you look like.
Hey, Dre, Dre, I don't know, I'm 21 years old. I'm from the hood in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm hanging with P. Pierce. We worked out together every day. We go and play at Rogers Park. I'm just hooping. Like, I don't know.
Hey, bro, he is in awe. Remember I took you to the Drew League? What'd you tell me when I took you to the Drew League? Don't ever do what? Bring you back up here ever again.
Yeah. Hey, Day, we go down to Drew League, man. He down there. Of course, I ain't scared to go nowhere. I'm young, whatever, but he like Jordan down there. So we go to he dropped me off. He's all over. He's talking to people. I'm by myself the whole time. Man, you get Crips and Bloods and you know what I'm saying? Everything, they mugging me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, AI just stepped over me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? He got me. They talking stuff to me. You know what I'm saying?
He was not feeling that. We was not feeling the Drew.
It was all love. It was all love.
It was love, but it was early too. Remember you was mad because it was early in the morning. You was like, BD, come on, bro. You got me down here. This is a gamble. And Jay, that was back but old Drew at Drew Middle School.
Yeah.
So the gym like this big. So everything somebody say, you can hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Even people whispering on the sidelines. But T. Lue, that was my guy, man. You held me down when I was in college. And then I wanted to share the story. You probably don't even know. Roy Williams recruited me. And when y'all came out here for the Best in the West. And at the time I was 5'3". And I used to watch you play for CMH. With Derek Hood. Yeah. So I was like, that's my guy. That's who I can be. When I saw you play on CMH, I was like, yo, I can be him because I'm gonna be a little dude. And I played on Paul's team. I don't even know if you remember that. I was on Paul's team.
But we played y'all in the Slam and Jam?
Yes, bro. Roy Williams and everybody in the camp thought I was a handicapped kid.
What you mean?
Because I played with a limp. I was fresh. I was 3 days out of a broken ankle, and I showed up at the Best in the West because I just wanted to get recruited. So I only played garbage time, bro. And I had a limp. And I had a limp. I was the little dude on the team with the limp, and everybody thought I was handicapped, even Roy Williams. He was like, what happened to that handicapped kid? He was so good. I was like, bro, that was me. But like, you are my guy, man. You are my guy. And I never forget that. I watched that game like, damn, I'm going to be like him, man. That little dude got game.
That's crazy. He became 6'3", a perennial all-star max. Top 5.
Was that like one of the most shocking things that you had to deal with in like coming from a small city and like moving to like LA?
Yeah, so I grew up in Mexico till my sophomore year in high school. And then my sophomore year in high school, I moved to Kansas City with my Uncle Kevin Graves. And so, because like in Mexico, wasn't being recruited, there's a lot of politics, as far as who plays, who doesn't play. And people wasn't coming to Mexico to see, see kids play, and so it was hard on my mom, because like to let your son go as a sophomore in high school to move, to Kansas City. I went to Raytown High School. It was hard for her, but if I wanted to get to where I wanted to get to, it was the right move. It was the right move. And so I played in Kansas City, went to Raytown High School, and then I played on the AAU team BD talking about with Derek Hood, Jamal Walker, Manny Dot, I think our whole team went D1. And the younger team underneath us that played up sometimes were Earl Watson, Corey Maggette, Jerron Rush, Coleon Young, you know, and so we had good teams. And that's when I got my first look because I wanted to go to Georgia Tech because I was, you know, Kenny Anderson. And Bob pretty much came to one of the games and he ain't looked at me one time, you know, but it took Steph that year. It took Steph, you know, but that's when I kind of like got my name and got on the map. And that's when I started getting recruited and stuff. So it was huge for me.
Yeah, we know you played with Shaq, who's a big prankster in LA. You got to give us a wild Shaq prank or give us, you know, I know he's one of the best teammates ever, dude.
Yeah, one of the best teammates ever. Talking about a guy that's genuine and giving and taking care of people. Like Shaq was that. But I remember one time he asked Devin George to do something, and Devin didn't do it. And so, you know, Devin, you know, was late, didn't do it, whatever. So Shaq's like, all right, cool. So the night before we had a game, Devin's, you know, I think on the court, shooting, whatever he's doing, the training room, whatever. So Shaq goes in the stall and he takes a shit in Devin's shoe.
Oh my God.
And so he takes it and he knocks it, you know, so it goes all the way down to the front of the and so Devin comes back, goes put his shoe on Dre, and he stuck his foot in some.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
Hey, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Hey, dude, Shaq is wild.
Wow.
He's crazy. Super wild.
Devin George is a rookie at that point?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he probably devastated. Hey,
wow, that's brutal, man.
Shaq is the biggest kid in the world, dog. Shaq is the biggest kid in the world.
You know what I give Shaq credit for? I give Shaq credit for being a mega star, but living his life.
Yeah.
I mean, because you come across guys that, you know, they won't come out of the house, you won't see them. Like Shaq was out every day. So then it became, oh, that's just Shaq. You know, and that's how you should do it. You know what I mean? Because like he was amongst the people, he did everything. Like, so
he was a hero.
You can live a normal life. But if you just, you know, like locked in, you come out every now and then, people don't see you. Like it's harder for you to live that life. But Shaq, like, man, I'm just gonna live. And it's probably the smartest thing he ever did. You know what I'm saying? Because you're larger than life, but just to live everyday life, like, you know, like me. Like he just went out every day, did whatever he wanted to do. And people was like, oh, that's just Shaq. We saw him last week. You know what I mean? It was cool. Like that was crazy.
Shaq had the city on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
sir.
He had the city on fire.
A quarter of the NBA season is done, and you don't want to miss the hype atmosphere of watching basketball games live. The sound from the court and the feel of the crowd. My first NBA game I ever attended at the Palace of Auburn Hills, checking out the Detroit Pistons. I'll never forget it. They were playing against the Orlando Magic. I went with the Civitan Recreation Center. It was like a field trip. And we sat way in the nosebleeds. But for me, that was an incredible experience, just seeing NBA guys live and on the court. It's like you have that dream of making it, and then knowing that they were real people. It's like, oh man, like, wow, I could possibly be that. And Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets.
Man, I'm looking at the app right now and looking at tickets. I really like the all-in pricing because it shows how much I'm going to have to pay, and also the Game Time ticket coverage that covers my purchase with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry, because you know I'm a busy man, so I might not make it.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code GREEN, GREEN, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code GREEN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Game time. You get traded to the Lakers on draft night. First 3 years don't go your way. Fast forward to the 2001 playoffs. you find out that you guard Iverson? How was that conversation with Phil?
To backtrack, the year before, the year when Phil got there, was in 2000. That's when I had messed my knee up and I got a microfracture. So I was out for 10 months. So I was out the whole year. We won that first championship. And so coming back the second year, it was kind of like, back and forth because they were just trying to figure out who was a good match and good fit. And so they brought in a guy, Mike Penberthy, who was a sharpshooter. Like he could shoot the ball all over the place. And so, back then, if you go on IR day, you got to sit out at least 5 games. It wasn't like you were dressing. So if they put you on IR, you got to sit out 5 games. And so it was like a whole year of just back and forth with that. I was getting so frustrated. And then one time they came and put me on IR. And I remember I came in, my cousin Doodle, I threw them like little marble fish bowls, like that marbles. I threw it through a glass table, man. He ran, man, what the hell is going on? So, man, they put me on IR again. I was mad. I was, whatever, going crazy. But the craziest thing is, back in those days, if you go on the, if you get on the playoff roster, you had to be chosen. So we in the war room, and Phil's going around the room telling everybody who's on the playoff roster. And so at that time, we had Mike Penberthy, J.R. Ryder, myself.
Yep.
And so when he called my name in the war room, man, I jumped up, went crazy. Kobe and them going crazy. And no, everybody was happy. I was hyped. You know what I'm saying? I left Mike Penberthy and J.R. Ryder off the playoff roster. So once you off, you can't play. It don't matter.
You can't play. Yeah, you done.
You can't play.
Wow.
You can't play. Yeah, so throughout the course of those playoffs, I was playing like, 10, 12 minutes a game. And what people don't realize, it would have never been me and AI if Milwaukee would have beat the Sixers in the Eastern Conference, because it had been Sam Cassell, Ray Allen.
They beat us. They beat us.
Yeah. I wouldn't have played, So now we get to the finals. And so the first game, when I check in, like, I'm AI for 2 weeks. I'm playing AI, running around fast, doing all this stuff. And so I didn't know if I was going to play or not. But first game, with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, he had 36 points. And I hadn't played yet. So the first time I checked in was 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. He had already had 36.
Oh, man. That's brutal.
He was cooking that. He was cooking that game. He was cooking that game.
Oh, man. So you got to think, like, as a young dude, growing up, same height, like I analyzed AI too. You know what I'm saying? Like even we close in age, but like that was the culture, stand up for, who we are as a culture, who we are as people, and to live it on the level that he did. I mean, that was huge to me, And so when I had a chance to go in the game, like I said, to step over and all that, like at the time, I didn't even know it was a big deal. Like he crossed me over and I fell down, and like he made a shot. I contested it, and I stepped on his foot and stepped over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that series, if it wasn't for AI making it to the finals, I might be out of the league that next year.
Wow.
You balled though. You balled.
Yeah, I mean, but that put me on the map. That put me on the map, because if I didn't have that matchup with him, like I ended up playing 27 minutes a game in the finals. Yeah. You know what I mean? But if I didn't have that matchup with AI, I wouldn't have had a matchup against Toronto, who had Alvin Williams and Vince Carter.
Yep.
Milwaukee, who had, Big Sam and Ray and those guys, BD. So I wouldn't even have a matchup. So thankfully, thank God he made it to the finals. And like, okay, we need a different guy to guard. And that saved my career for real. So it was a blessing in disguise.
So the step over was worth it.
It was well worth it. I'd do it again.
Because they doing it in football. I was gonna ask you, how you feel about all that.
I mean, for me, I don't feel bad. Like I said, it was a part of history, it's a moment in history. But like it ain't like I got crossed over and fell down.
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like I contested the shot, stepped back on his foot, like kind of rolled my ankle. You know what I'm saying? But they make a big deal of it. But like I said, AI is my man. Like if I can win a championship, I'll let him step over me right now. I go lay a half court. You know what I'm saying? Right now, come step over me right now. Be somebody to win a championship.
That part.
You know
For sure. That part.
That part.
Oh, man.
You end up leaving the Lakers after that, going to the Washington Wizards. End of that September, Black Cat MJ the Michael Jordan decides he is going to return and play for the Wizards. How did you learn about MJ making his return, and was there any indication before he announced it that he was going to be coming back and playing that season with y'all?
So it's funny how it happened because during that series with the Philly Lakers, after that series, Doug Collins, he's the one that made that step over famous. If it weren't for him, people probably would have made a big deal out of it. But, he's great. But then it's funny because he became the head coach the next year with the Wizards.
Wow.
And so after him watching that series, like that's my biggest payday. They gave me 2 years, $4 million. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was only making $400,000. You know what I'm saying? So $600,000. So I was like, okay, I got to take this deal. But it was rumblings that MJ might come back. Okay. But MJ was part of the front office already, and so a guy you idolized and looked up to, if I could be a part of MJ, I ain't getting $4 million, BD.
Come on, yo. Sign me up.
I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened. And then when I did sign, MJ came back, and to have a chance to play with MJ, come on, man. You go from Kobe and Shaq to MJ, come on, you couldn't ask for, I could have retired after those 2 years with MJ. I could have retired there and been the happiest man in the world. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
Nobody would ever think you'd be that blessed to have that, play with Kobe, Shaq, and Jordan.
That's crazy.
Come on.
Only you and Horace Grant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I know we talked about MJ dropping 51 on us, but I was happy MJ came back that year because I had 30 the game before, and I was MJ that night. So I just show my kids that. But you feel me? Hey, if Jordan don't come back, I don't get 30. I can't tell my kids that I played. Right. They wouldn't believe I even played if it wasn't for that damn dunk. But one of the most iconic plays of MJ's career was the chase down block on Ron Mercer. What was that? That was crazy.
Oh, so you just around chase down blocks. That's just your thing.
No, I was part of it because I was there when Tayshaun blocked Reggie Miller's layup because I was there cheering for champion. That's your Pistons day.
Yeah. Wow. You were there.
There for that.
So just bad luck.
Bron on Iguodala, and then Jordan on Mercer when he pinned it against the glass, 2 hands.
Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy. And Ron Mercer was like an All-American. I thought that was the thing that killed his confidence. After Jordan did
that. He was number one in our class, too.
Yeah, he was.
95. Him and KG, KG, Steph, but Ron Mercer was, shout out to Ron Mercer.
There was a legendary 2010 pickup team.
In Vegas, yeah.
There was a legendary pickup team in Las Vegas, Impact, known for trading. It was a league. I think they trying to give y'all credit.
It wasn't a league.
It was just runs, but y'all cheated.
It was run
all the time, bro. Y'all cheated. You, Chauncey, y'all was cheating, bro.
Day, let me tell you what happened. So in the league, I was a solid player, but in the summertime,
oh my God. Hey, bro, oh my God. Listen.
Him all alone.
And so we had, you gonna like this story too, because he's your partner, Day. So we played best of 7 series every day for 2 months. We had the same team. We didn't lose a series for 2 months. And the team we had was just all guys that were just middle of the pack players, you know what I'm saying, in the NBA. But together, it was me, Tayshaun, Jared Dudley, Patrick O'Brien, and our best player was Allen Iverson.
Wow, double A.
Oh my God. Double A. Oh my God. Dude.
Well, Jordan that summer. Hey, Day, he was Jordan that summer.
Diabolical, bro.
It was this running thing. We never got beat. So they brought in BD and Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, Ron Artest. Guys was flying in LA we going to beat this team. Nobody beat us the whole summer. Chauncey, Kyle Lowry, J.O., everybody.
Y'all ran the show. I ain't gonna even lie. We could have beat y'all, but remember I had Tony Allen on my team. Hey, dog. And TA, oh my God. TA passed the ball, bro. Hey, I'm out here working on my game too, OG. Like, nah, not today, bro. Get a rock.
Hey, Day, we blitzing pick and rolls.
Hey, bro, they call it sets.
Yeah, we rotate. Jo catching the post with Patrick O'Brien. We come double team. He kicking the ball. Yo, double team. He mad. Jo mad.
Hey, Don, dudes was mad, frustrated.
Hey, that's funny. I can't remember if it was that summer, but I know I had been up to Impact when you were up there, T. Lue. Because I remember the day that I was up there. Big Baby was up there. D. Jones came in yelling to the top of his lung, talking shit to everybody. Then you came in because Joe D had sent me, Jordan, a couple more of our friends out there to train for like 4 or 5 days. So we was out there training at Impact.
Yeah, on the little side court.
Remember, hey, relax yourself, bro. Like, we got main court work. Joe Dumars sent us. We got main court work. Stop it, man.
Remember the little side court? And then the defunct court.
All right. It's cool. It's cool. Y'all both old as hell now. How about that?
I'm feeling it too. I'm feeling it.
Hey, T,
you ain't gonna say that when I make the team next year.
Y'all both old as hell now. You want to take the side court.
But Joe Bunazar, man, he ran a hell of a
he did.
Yes, he did.
Joe Bunazar, shout out to Joe. He with Impact, man. That was huge though. That was good.
He did a great job for sure. T. Lue, what's your biggest coaching what if?
What if Bron stays in Cleveland, and what if KD doesn't go to Golden State?
Oh, that's a good one. What player is the hardest to game plan for?
It's always been Steph. Like, I think, Steph is one of the hardest, the hardest guy to game plan for, because of like everything he creates. He creates everything off his movement. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and people always want to try to duplicate, what Golden State does, but you can't duplicate that because your best player, who was a Hall of Famer, who was top 5 player in the league, like that's how he wants to play. So they come, man, why we don't not Kawhi's not gonna run around like that.
He not.
Oh, Judy gonna run around like James Harden ain't gonna run like that. Like, you know what I mean? So you can't duplicate that. And that's why I always say, like, you gotta coach to your personnel, not to your system. You know what I mean? Your personnel has to fit your system. If not, you gotta change and do different things. Like every year I coach different. I got a different system, every year. But Steph is the player that loves to play that way. You know what I mean? And so when you have your best player that wants to play that way, it's easy to do because everybody else falls in line. But if you don't have that personnel and have a guys to do that, it's hard to play that style of basketball.
Totally.
No, 1,000%.
I totally agree.
We always in for a good list before we get out of here. Appreciate you taking all this time, by the way. I hope I cost y'all a loss so we can catch up with y'all. But that's another story.
We don't play for a couple of days, you know what I'm saying?
We always love a good list. So I'm gonna ask you this question. I also love that it's become more of a thing. Like there's more of us, and like that's the way it should be. Yeah. Your top 5 coaches that are players that turn coaches of all time.
Man.
What are the qualifications though? Do it just dudes who coached? Or
no, they were NBA players, and
good coaches.
and they are the top 5. They
coaches.
were NBA players, but they're top 5 coaches that were player turned coach.
I would say Doc Rivers. I would say Al Adams.
Oh, the great R.I.P.
The great Al Adams.
I would say Bill Russell.
Oh my God.
Casey Jones. And then probably Lenny Wilkens.
Oh my God.
No Phil.
Great. No way.
Oh, Phil, yeah. I mean,
Phil, great coach,
sorry.
but yeah.
But like Phil's like kind of grandfather. Like we talk about the most Shaq. No, you don't count Shaq. We don't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you're in your own stratosphere.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, yeah. Like Phil.
I feel like Phil and Pat is in like their own in another ballpark.
Yeah.
You put me on. Yeah, forget about Pat. You know what I mean?
Pat Riley, that's another one, huh?
Yeah, that you got to ask me. I got to write that down first, and then I got to.
But here's the thing, though, T. Lue. I love Pat. I love Phil, but the same thing kind of ends up happening with MJ, where you like, yo, he in his own ballpark, but like, nah, but like people can catch up. You know what I'm saying? Like people have put Phil again and Phil and Pat, nobody's caught up. But maybe Pop. Nobody's caught up. But we always put these guys in these categories like their stuff can't be touched, but like it's guys working towards that. Like I feel like when people talk to GOAT debate, for instance, a lot of people just say like Brian, like they ain't gonna say it's Brian or they ain't gonna say it's Kobe because they come after MJ. Not saying that they are better, but just because you come after, don't like what is it that has to go on for someone to be like, okay, they are in that category with Phil and the Godfathers, Phil and Pat.
You can win. You know, I think the biggest thing when you look at that, no matter who's on the team or who's playing, like you got to win at a high level, you know. And so when I look at Pat Riley, when I look at Phil, like they won at an elite level. Like say with Pop, 5 rings, Steve Kerr, 4 rings, like you know, so like they've won at an elite level. And so I base everything off winning, you know, me, you know. And so when you look at Pat Riley, you look at Red Auerbach, you look at you know, Phil Jackson, like I mean, I know you should exclude them, but like they're just in their own
Yeah,
lane,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of go from there. But man, now we gotta start all over again then, Dede.
Let's go. Go for it.
I mean, we got about Steve Kerr.
Stevie Kerr.
Yeah, Steve Kerr.
I was going to Stevie Kerr next.
But you forget like the players that actually coach, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like so Steve Kerr,
Doc.
Lenny Wilkins.
Lenny. Are you basing off like
I was basing it off of your hoop game and then how you won as a coach.
yeah, was you a solid player? Like was you a solid player in the hoop game and solid as a coach, you mean? Like
Yeah.
is that, I mean
All right, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go mixing the player and the coach. The greatest of all time, Stevie Kerr, you drop out, my friend.
oh no.
Oh, no.
He made one of the biggest shots in NBA.
He did, but he
Yeah.
made the shot. Like, come on.
Steve Kerr
No, I
got me.
love Stevie Kerr. That's my guy. Who did lots of-
Steve Kerr got me socked in my chest in San Antonio.
He going to flash his
As a
championship rings on me.
And he had the highest 3-point percentage, I think, in NBA.
He did. He did.
Steve Kerr was tough, Dre.
I ain't rolling,
was
coach.
tough.
Players, you got Steve Kerr, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley,
Doc, all-star.
Doc, Bill
Bill Russell.
Bill, of course.
got
Yeah.
Lenny Wilkins was number 1 pick, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yep, Lenny Wilkins won one as a player and
It's
a coach
tough.
too.
he? Then he won, yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
Those lists are always tough, man. We respect all them GOATs, by the way. This is just
Magic
fun.
Johnson. Magic Johnson.
Magic
Johnson.
was an awful coach.
No, he wasn't an awful coach. When you have great players that try to coach, they don't have the patience.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Zeke, we see you.
Like, like Magic, I'm never gonna be you. Like you can't get mad at me because I can't throw
do that.
over the head. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like when you're great like that, they don't have the patience to, you know what I'm saying, to
Yep.
do it. They didn't think everybody's gonna be as great as them, but it don't work like that.
Nah, for sure. We respect all these greats. We love them. T. Lue, man, we can't thank you
Yeah.
enough, my brother. This was incredible. Hey, and by the way, I got to share this story before we go. I was going through my stuff last year, and I talked to T. Lue face to face, fresh on suspension. And T. Lue told me something very interesting, and I'll be trying to practice that. And I will say I've taken steps in the right direction, meaning I pick and choose. T. Lue said, Dre, you got to still be you. He's like, you ain't special not being you. He's like, that's what makes you special. You have to be you. And you have to play with that same fire, and you have to be that same guy. He said, but it can't be everybody. Like, it can't be you going at your teammates and then going at your coach and then going at the referees and then going at players on the other team. It can't be everybody. You got to, like, maybe you at the referees. All right, cool. And move on, right? Like, he said, but it can't be everybody. And I just wanted to share that. And I just wanted to say thank you, because that, at that time, was huge for me. And it's actually a lot better for me and implementing that. You know, some games I'm like, yo, I'm at this dude today. Some games I'm like, yo, it's a referee. I really don't like him. I'm at him right now. Like, you know, but it is like, yo, pick and choose. Like, it can't be this, can't be that, can't be this, can't be that. And so number one, I wanted to say thank you for that gym. That free game. I appreciate that, my brother. But that was big for me.
Yeah, I mean, because he brings so much to the game. And like you said, you know, when your mind's everywhere, you can't focus on what you're trying to focus on. And so you can't be mad at coaches, mad at the players, mad at the refs, mad at the other team, mad at the fans. You know what I'm saying? And now it's time for you to swing, you got a shot. You so wound up. Like you ready to fight everybody in the building. By the time you get a shot, you can't even let it shoot. You know what I'm saying? But no, like I said, I do, you know, appreciate what you bring. Like you're like a brother to me, you know. So I just wanted to, you know, it wouldn't be right if I didn't tell you, like, you know, what I thought. You can take and do what you want with it, but like I just feel like I would have been a brother if I didn't, you know, tell you like, you know, this is how it should be. So I'm glad you're able to, you know, implement that and kind of go from there.
I appreciate you, brother. In the words of BD, the T. Lue-isms. It's a wrap from this episode of the Draymond Green Show. Shout out to you fans. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time, the Draymond Green Show with my dog, BD. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Peace.